What's up? This is all from my phone, and guys, today I'm going to be doing a quick walk around on the car. When I say quick, I mean it might take a couple of minutes, roughly 20. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'll try to be as quick as possible. Starting off with my car, I have a engine intake. It is a cold air intake. This is a intake off of an XRS, Matrix XRS, not a Corolla XRS. I've had questions, does it fit? It does fit, obviously, if I have it. It fits semi good. You do have to do some modifications, but if you want to spend a little less money, like let's say 50 bucks, somebody's selling it to you for like 50 bucks, it does fit. You just got to modify it. The way you have to modify it, if you see, it runs down this way. It does bolt to that bolt. I've heard some people say that it doesn't, but it does mount on that bottom bolt right there where it's supposed to. The only thing, if you do mount it there, it's going to sit a little cockeyed to the right on the throttle body. But as long as you have it tight, you shouldn't have any issues with that. So it runs down this way, and you can see the back of the filter head right there. Right there. So it does fit. The only thing, to get it to fit where I have it, you have to cut like about 3 or 4 inches off of the bottom. So just to give you an example, my filter sits like right here. The original one sits like right here. It doesn't fit because of the fog light. The fog light hits the top of the fog light. So you just have to cut off enough to get it to sit somewhere in here where it does fit. So if you do this, just, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you just have to cut off a little bit off of there to fit. It does. Anyways, another thing that I've done to the intake area is the throttle body coolant passages. If you guys didn't know, this car has a coolant passage that goes through the throttle body. And if you think about coolant gets hot, and that's just warming up the air that goes into the car. So if you see here, those are the two nipples that go into like an inlet and an outlet nipple that goes into the throttle body that controls the coolant. What I did, if you see over here, that is the inlet and outlet that comes from the head. I just pretty much grab the hose that goes into the head from, I think, the heater core, and I just capped one and then just put the hose into the head instead of going into the throttle body and out the throttle body. So you pretty much, all you have to do is take one hose off and then put the other hose into the head of the car. Is this recommended? It depends, honestly. If you live in Florida, sure. One thing I will warn you about, it could cause a check engine light because of the IAC, the idle air control motor, which is on the throttle body on this car, and that passage runs through there. So it sees the temperature of the coolant, and it is something that it does, like one of the values that it does look for. So you might get a check engine light. I have my car flash, so that really doesn't matter. You can have whoever's tuning your car take that check engine light off and it won't matter. You may get some awkward idling. So just know that. Other than that, for the intake, I think that is it. I'm going to be moving right along the intake so you guys can see what I have done. This here, let's see my finger's at right there. Right there. That gasket, the white thing. That is a thermal gasket that goes in between the intake manifold and the throttle body. I told you about it in the last couple of videos. I have a Is It Worth It video. If you guys have not seen that, check out like about 2 videos before this one. And I pretty much go through all the stuff that I have and I tell you if it's worth it or not. So, I have that still on there. In the video I said it's semi worth it, but check that out if you guys are interested in that. Now, my spark plugs. I also have IP spark plug coils. You see, they kind of look like the stock ones, to be honest with you, with a little, looks like a Las Vegas chip on top of it that says IP. Is it worth it? Not really. I mean, I guess. It all depends. You guys look at my video. I tell you what I think about it, and you make your own assumptions. But that's what it looks like so that you guys can have an idea of what this stuff looks like. I'm just doing a walk around just so you can see that. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you from the intake side, usually if you're an XRS owner, you're going to know that there's here like a pipe that runs that way for your air pump. The air pump usually sits down there. I have it deleted because my headers are injection-less headers. They are the PPE branded with the injection delete. You can see it there. Those are PPEs. But anyways, so typically you'll see like some sort of purge valve or solenoid that sits on here that runs this way for your injection pump. And that's pretty much it. If you want it deleted, you can do it. If you want to delete it and you have an air pump system or you don't have the headers and you still want to take it off, you can. Like I said, you're going to run into check engine lights unless you have a flash, unless you get it reflashed, but you can take it off. There, on this end, you can take it off from the actual solenoid that sits here and just plug it, or you can take the whole solenoid and everything off and then plug the hose that goes right here. There's like a rubber hose that runs into a metal hose here, like about in this area. You can just plug the rubber hose on this side. I did it in my old XRS, my red one. I had a check engine light. Really didn't see why it was such a bad thing to have your check engine light on if it doesn't change the way the car functions. But now that I'm older and I've had this car for a while, I'd just rather not have my check engine light on. For reasons being, horrible gas mileage. If you guys didn't know, once you have your check engine light on, your gas mileage goes to the toilet because the car starts to run on a kind of like a safe mode. And a safe mode on any vehicle, you're going to be running a lot of fuel because the engine's pretty much trying to save itself. So I do not like check engine lights on my car. If I do get one, I try to fix it as soon as I can. Anyways, for another time, maybe another video, I can go a little more into depth about that. So what else do I have done? I have Bobo branded hella horns. I have a video on this, how to install, how to wire. It's on my channel. Check it out if you like that idea. The reason I say Bobo version is because they already don't function. I've had them since I've got the car. That was one of my very first videos. So I would say 2.5 years, almost 3, because I got this car in 15 or 14. So it's about to be 3 years that I've had this car. So yeah, so like about 3 years. I'm going to buy some new ones. The good thing about me already having it set up is that I'm not going to have to worry about wiring or rewiring this because the stock, if you guys don't know, this only has one horn that hangs right there and you have to rewire the whole thing. But it's very easy. If you want to check that out, check my video and I'll show you how to wire that in. Next, my Underdrive Pulleys. A lot of people ask me if it's safe to run Monkey Wrench Racing Underdrive Pulleys. If you know what Monkey Wrench Racing Underdrive Pulleys look like, these are not them. These are unorthodox racing pulleys. Maybe you can even see where it says unorthodox racing on it. See it? Unorthodox. So these pulleys were made for this car when it first came out. They're actually made for the Celica GTS. And I put them on this car because it's the same engine, 2ZZ. But is it safe? It is safe to run the alternator and the water pump only. If you go and change the harmonic balancer on this car, and the harmonic balancer, I mean the crank pulley, if you change that out and you put the underdrive pulley that this kit comes with, you will blow up your motor. If you change the oil pump or you reinforce the oil pump, then you have a better chance of not blowing the motor. But I don't like to mess with any of that stuff. The reason you blow your oil pumps is because it's in the name, harmonic balancer. A harmonic balancer means that it's balanced. You go and put something that's smaller and unbalance the motor, you're gonna start messing stuff up. So what typically happens is the oil pump vibrates to a certain rate, and once it vibrates to that peak point, it pretty much shatters. I don't know if you've ever seen a video of, somebody screaming into a glass and then the glass shatters. It's the same thing. The glass vibrates itself to death. Same thing happens here. You put that pulley on there, it vibrates the oil pump to death. So in my old Corolla XRS, I had that on there. I blew the oil pump twice. One time I took it to the dealer because it was still under warranty when I had it. I bought it in the end of 2005, the Corolla. And I blew the oil pump, took it to them. They replaced the first engine, no charge, under warranty. I had told them, please put back on the stock harmonic balancer. He's like, nah, you shouldn't have a problem. We'll just put the old one back on, like the Underdrive racing one on there. And it blew like a week later. They didn't want to pay for the second one. So I had to take my car out of the dealership, replace it myself. Long story short, don't do it. Don't do it. Save yourself a headache. These cars are not under warranty anymore, so you're going to have to fix it. But it is, like I'm going to say again, it is safe to run the alternator and the water pump pulley because it's not connected to the crankshaft. It's not connected to something that is going to cause anything to shake to death. So it is safe. And I have it on my car. I had it for 3 years, no issues. On to the next one. Oh, obviously I have the Fidenza flywheel. I have a video on me receiving that, showing you that. If you want to see what it looks like, I have a video on that. But obviously I can't take that apart to show you what it looks like. Front of the car. I have a grill that is an eBay grill. Everybody always asks me about that. And they say, where did you get that grill? Because I think they see the emblem, they think it comes with it. But no, those are two separate parts. I put the emblem on the car. Everybody likes the VVT LI emblem. You could find a crap load of VVT I emblems without the L in there. If you're a Toyota head and it drives you nuts when you see VVTi emblems on a GTS or a Corolla XRS, I am that dude. It is a VVT LI engine, so I wanted the emblem. Problem being, that is a very rare emblem. It's a hard emblem, it's not a sticker. So how I found it was on my very first one. I just went on eBay, clicked on it. Back in 05, it was easier to find. Nowadays, it's pretty rough to find that emblem. The way I did it is I got on Google, I searched VVTLI emblem, and then I went on images. It'll show you a whole bunch of images. You might get lucky and see one image that'll lead you to a, for sale of an emblem or a company that still makes the VVTLI emblem. Like I said, once you find the emblem, they are out there, but it's hard to find them. So for the front end, I already said the hella horns, grill, emblem, the bottom. So another question that I get asked a lot on the channel is, what lip do you have? That is a 04 to 05 STI front lip. STI, yes, WRX STI. And I think there's some confusion on the fitment. This is not something that just bolts onto your car directly. Obviously, it's not the same vehicle. It's not made for the same vehicle. It just fits well on the Corolla, but you still have to modify it to get it on there. There's some stuff you have to cut off the lip when you first get it so they can sit flush up against the stock bumper, like here, like this. So there is stuff that you have to cut off. And the way that I have it set up, you can either bolt it or you can zip tie it. Now, zip tie sounds kind of ghetto or, JDM bro, but it saves your lip. Now, some of you might be asking, that doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you're coming up to a curb and you forget you have your nice new lip on there and it's bolted to your bumper and you run into, like, let's say a curb when you're parking your car, it's gonna push this in, okay? This is very flexible. If it pushes it into a point where it breaks your zip tie, it'll just break the zip tie and not the actual lip. But if you bolt it to your bumper, you might break your bumper and your lip. So I have it zip tied so it breaks away quickly, and it's an easy fix if I ever have to fix it. If you end up bolting this on here and rip off your bumper and rip a hole in your bumper, you're gonna have to buy a bumper. So if you think it's ghetto, it's actually a lot better than having it bolted to your bumper. And it works just fine. I've never had an issue. I have run into stuff, not run into, but I have bumped stuff and it breaks a couple of zip ties and it's flapping, but then you just zip tie it and that's it. You're on your way. If I would have had it bolted, it probably would have broke. And I probably would have just been riding around with a front bumper that was jacked up. So that is the reason for that. Now, another thing that you will notice, I do have yellow fogs. That is what my friends like to call the most Puerto Rican thing on here. I don't know. He says that everybody that has yellow fog lights is Puerto Rican. He might be right, but I like how it looks. So this is brand new as well. When I first got this car, it was all fogged up. I have a video of me cleaning it. It worked fine for a couple months. Then it starts to get that fogginess again. So I ended up just saying, you know what? They're like $110. I got those for like $110 each. Not each, both. So a pair of brand new headlights for $110. I just got those, and they are the stock S or XRS headlights. The difference between the XRS headlights and a CE or just a regular Corolla is that the back of the headlight is chromish looking, and then this one they're blackened headlights. So I like the stock ones. They look good, so I kept them. Another thing that I've done to this car are LEDs for both the high beam and the low beam. See what it looks like. That is the high beam and then the low beam. So those plug right in. You don't have to do anything to these typically. If you get like an LED kit, they plug right in and they work awesome at night, like super duper bright. I have another video on my channel so you can see what that looks like. Actually, you know what? Let me just, so you can see it real quick. No, doesn't take me but 2 seconds to do that. And I don't know if you can hear, but when I click them on, they have like a fan on the back of them. Pretty much for cooling, I guess. But as you can see, super duper bright. And they look awesome. As you see my yellowing fog lights. Anyways. So yeah, looks cool. Kind of sounds cool when you turn them on. So yeah, I bought those also on eBay. I believe the headlights low beam were like $32 with a lifetime warranty. And the high beams are, I believe, the same price. So I got both LED'd, high beam and low beam. What else on the front end? I think that's it on the front end. I also did a delete of my daytime running lights. There's a video, if you want to check that out, on my channel. You can see how it's done. Now, the one that I have done to the car, if I'm not mistaken, you can't use the fog lights without having the headlights on. There's another way you can do it. I really didn't care about having my fog lights on without my headlights. I don't know what the point of that is. But anyways, it's the video on there is just pretty much to delete completely your daytime running lights. These corner lights do come on if you have it on a certain setting without the daytime running lights. active. But other than that, I think that's it for the front end. Moving right along, my car is lowered. Oh, on the shark fin. I have the shark fin antenna. I also have another video on how that works and how you can kind of help with, because a lot of people worry about signal. You know, if you're gonna get your radio signal, you're gonna lose it. It has aluminum foil on the underside of this, like it's lined with aluminum foil, and it helps with the signal. So I have another video about that, so you can check that out. And lowering stuff. I have lowering springs. They're TN springs. TN, however you say it. Those are the springs I got. These lower the car for my liking just fine. I'm not a stance DO type of dude. I don't like the way it looks. It's my personal opinion. It looks stupid, but you know, you might be a stance DO type of dude, so this is not gonna work for you. I'm eventually gonna have coilovers because I want it maybe a little bit, you know how you see how there's like a gap here? I might want it just a little more lowered, just a tad bit. Because if you look at the car from far away, you'll notice that gap is barely any. Actually, it's almost like none in the front end. But in the rear end, there is a gap. So I just want it to be very minimal, zero gap on the back. So that's probably why I'm going to try to go coilovers. But it is what it is. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And my rotors are slotted with ceramic brake pads. Then I think these are the second gen JDM Altice lights. I'm not sure if they're the second gen or I don't know. I think these are the ones that everybody wants. The other ones have like a circle here, and people don't like that one. They like this one. If you ask me where I got it from, eBay. Some people are like, oh, you know, is it gonna work? Are they ghetto? Blah blah blah. They work so far, having no issues. Well, I wouldn't say no issues. When I first put it in here, I had my ABS light and other stuff come on. The reason that comes on when you put these lights is because these here are LED. LED lights work under a different load in a circuit. So the car thinks that you have a blown bulb or an issue when you put LEDs on there because they work on a lower amperage. So to combat that, you put in a resistor on the inside. I have a video on how to do it. If you guys want to check it out. You put the resistor on and it works just fine. And it has to be a specific resistor because I have had issues with another resistor where it was like a smaller resistor and over time it just burnt it out. So you do need a specific one. I have it in my video. And yeah, so if you like those tail lights and you have that issue, some of them already have that built into the tail light. It's going to be more expensive. These are generic, you know, probably made in China or Korea or something like that. So I did have issues when I first got them on there, but they work fine now. So those are my second gens. I don't know if they are second gen, whatever. Second, third, fifth, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're the ones with the straight line across. So that's pretty much it for that. On the interior of the car, you guys already know about my short shifter. And this is an AM air fuel gauge. This is a DVD player radio. I forgot the name. I have a video. Check out my page. I think you guys are already annoyed by me saying that stuff, but yeah. So another thing that I have done, I don't know if you can actually see it in the video, but when I turn it on, they're white, not like green. The lights that are under here. I don't have a video on how to actually put them in, and I maybe should, but I want to say they're 8 mm bulbs or 10 mm bulbs. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. but they're pretty simple to put in. They unscrew and screw in. You just buy them on eBay, white colored or whatever. You take this panel off. If you guys don't know, there's a bolt right there. You just unscrew that bolt. It's very simple, actually. You have to unscrew this, pull up on that, take this panel off, and this just, it's really easy to pull up. Point out, that's easy to put down. There you go. Anyways, yeah, sorry. So that pulls right off. Once you have that center little screw out that's right here, you just stick your hand in here and kind of like make a fist and pull out, and all this comes out. Once you do that, you'll see the panels. You just have to unscrew the panels, kind of fold it out like this, change out all the little bulbs. They're like about yay size. Did I get anybody? No. Anyways, some of you might get that, some of you might not. Sorry. So anyways, these buttons do change. I think one of them does not. Let me see which one it is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. No, they all change. All the colors change, but you're gonna have green, red on here. Anyways, you can change the bulbs. They're pretty easy. Other than that, inside I have my cutout pretty much glued, not glued, but double-sided taped on there. I just use a regular 3M double-sided tape. That is probably the best double-sided tape there is. People use it on body panels and stuff like that, so it'll stay up there. So for my cutout, I have a video about it and how I set it up or whatever. This is the mess of cables, and I think I have in my old video that me showing you that. But anyways, and another person asked me, is it R9K tuned? Yeah, it's R9K tuned. I had a Ronnie tune. I have videos talking about the differences between them. So if you want to see that, you can check that out. I have LEDs for that and for here. And I think that's it. I think that's all the stuff that I've done to this car. Aside from the transmission, clutch pressure, brake, flywheel. I already said that. What else? That's it. Future plans. I want to get the Streetworks intake manifold and throttle body set up on this car. I've been trying to do it for the past year when he first announced that he was doing these, but I've just had some complications, having to put money in places where I can't just put all my money into my car. And yeah, so that's pretty much everything that I have. Oh, this, I said it last time, this is eBay. You can get it on eBay. It's very easy to install as well. What else? I shouldn't say very easy. I should say it's fairly simple. Because if you're, a novice or you've never done anything like this, it could be hard. So it's fairly simple. It's pretty straightforward. What else? I think that's it. So like I said, future plans, I do want to do a intake manifold and throttle body for this car. And when I do get it, maybe I'll show you how to install it. It's very easy. On these cars, it's super easy. And what else? I'm probably going to be taking to the dyno. I've been saying that for the last 2 years. I have taken the car to the dyno before and without having it recorded. And with an intake, just an intake, I did 161 with a engine coder, and that was on a dyno jet. So these cars do bolt-ons. 161 to the wheels on this car is probably in the 180 range to the flywheel. So that's not bad. 180 horse with just a intake. now I'm gonna be guessing I'm gonna be in the 180 to 190 range, maybe more, because of the stuff that I've done to the car. But honestly, intake, header, exhaust, you're it varies. You know, I've seen videos of guys making 205 horsepower with just that, but I've seen other dudes make 170 horsepower with that. So it all depends. I'm thinking it's gonna be like in the 190 range. Let's say 195 or something like that, or maybe 190, because it is R9K tuned. So other than that, yeah, I mean, I think that's the only thing that I'm gonna be doing to the car upcoming. I'm gonna have to get new tires pretty soon, so I might get new wheels. We'll see. I don't want to say anything that I'm gonna promise, but if this YouTube channel goes well, um, subscribe, and I will do stuff to this car and show you how I do them. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you should turbo your car." Yeah, I should turbo my car. I wish it was turbo, but that costs money. So, if this YouTube channel goes well, then yeah, I'll do tons of stuff to this car, and maybe get some people to help me out. If anybody, from Monkey Wrench Racing tends to slip into one of my videos and says, "Hey, I'll send you some parts that you can put on there and show everybody how it works," I would appreciate it. Or anybody that watches my videos that makes parts for this car. I'm getting a good little subscriber base. I mean, it's very small now, but I'm gonna keep making videos, and hopefully more and more people subscribe, and I can start bringing you guys some more content and better videos. So anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions or anything like that, write me in the comments. I typically comment back. I don't know how long that's going to last. Obviously, if the more subscribers, the harder it is for me to contact people or write you back, but I will try my best. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you guys continue to watch my videos, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Peace out.